Welcome to the Philos podcast, where soccer is a mirror for life. Today's conversation is about opportunity. Soccer has the power to change lives, but for many young players, access to the game can be the biggest obstacle. Costs, environments, pathways can make the dream feel out of reach for many families, but sometimes a coach decides to do something about it. Today, I'm speaking with Coach Joel, the director of One Nation Soccer Academy, a club built on one belief that opportunity should not be limited by circumstance. This conversation explores the deeper purpose behind creating environments that give players access to chase their dreams. Because soccer doesn't just develop players, it develops belief. Coach Joel, welcome to the Philos podcast.
Thank you. I'm great to be here.
Awesome, man. So let's dive right in. Where did your soccer journey begin?
Okay, so growing up, I'm out here from Maryland. So growing up playing a lot of like the Maryland United. At the time, there was Real Maryland. Those clubs that cost a lot of money, So I wasn't able to, because my parents didn't have the money to pay for me to be in those clubs. So I wasn't able to play at that level with those teams, So I more play like I would guess play with clubs around the area because I didn't have the money to play for those teams.
Right. So it sounds like your experience very much shaped your perspective on opportunity in the game then.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's kind of what this podcast is all about, right? Everybody's journey is very different. And one thing that I find is similar is that the game is the gift that keeps on giving, right? And it sounds like you're doing a great job giving back. Obviously, I personally work with some of your players. I work with players from clubs, all the different soccer clubs in the DMV, right? But I remember you sharing with me very much what One Nation Soccer Academy was about, which was giving access to the young players, right? And it makes sense that you didn't have those opportunities yourself. So
Yes.
when did you first realize accessibility was a real issue in youth soccer, despite your own experience?
So as I played with those clubs, and when I went to school, I ended up playing my club team. And when I play against the other kids, I was a lot better than some of the kids that play with those teams. So I'm like, just because I don't have the opportunity to or the money to be able to play with those teams, the other kids that have the money are able to play with those teams. And now I'm not really getting seen because I don't have that money. So that's why me starting my club, One Nation, to help the kids that don't have the money to afford the Bethesda, the Maryland United, the SAC, but they could just be able to still play at the level that the EDP leagues, state cup, tournaments like that, but while playing under me and being able to afford it, because my club is a lot cheaper and the kids able to play.
That's
at the same
awesome.
level.
That's awesome, mate. And this podcast is very not much about, it's very much an educational resource. It's not about, comparing and contrasting and
Yeah,
with clubs, but I totally get it, right? There are clubs in the area that are expensive, and football, the system, the way it's set up in America, it's pay to play, right? I personally do private training. I charge money for that. It's very much adding value. That's what business is, right? If I add value, that's the whole point of, kind of that's where that price point is put on it. How much value am I adding? But like you said, it's not so much the price tag that determines, the quality, let's say,
quality
right?
of play.
In terms of, like you said yourself, you played against players, you found that, well, they played for all these different clubs in the area, but yourself, you found that you were very much competing with them, right? So that's awesome that you want to give back in that way. What moment made you decide to create One Nation Soccer Academy?
So just being back in I played in Harrisburg, so coming back and seeing just the environment and seeing the different of the talented kids that I started coaching with a different club, um, and then seeing the talented kids that weren't able to like play. So I was like, let me start a club and try to give the opportunity to them to be able to express themselves and play at a higher level.
So when did you first realize you wanted to become a coach?
Oh, when I wasn't able to really play at a higher level no more. Going to because I was trying to get into the MLS, but because I wasn't able to, I was like, let me give back in another way that I can.
Nice. So talk us through that process and that moment then, because that's what shapes us, right? You had a goal, you didn't achieve it, and so now you turn your energies. At some stage, every footballer, whether you're a professional right now in the modern game, all the way down to grassroots players, like what's my level, what am I set out to achieve, and when we fall short of our goals, kind of how does our journey change, right? And that's the whole point of this podcast, mate, is soccer is a mirror for life. So talk us through a little bit of, you not achieving your goals and turning your energies toward coaching. Like, what did your North Star become at that moment?
So I was playing with DC United, and I met a coach. I forgot his name. His name was actually Phil. He was from England, and he was very, very good coach. He coached me. That's one of the coaches that I really learned a lot from. And I just, maybe I should take that and just be able to give it back to the the youth coming up, so it continues. Teach them a lot more about the game. So I think from that helped me a lot to say, let me start something and give back to the kids growing up and coming up.
I love that. I love that point because we often forget that we are a accumulation of those people that have come before us that have taught us, right? Like I played for
Yeah,
Manchester United Academy as a youth player. Went to Preston North End. I've had solid coaches throughout my life. And I look at it and go, I have my own perspective of the game, but it's those people as well that have shaped me. And I feel confident. When I first started coaching, I felt confident because I had those coaches, because I kind of imitated and modeled their voice, right? before
yeah,
before I found my own. So that's a great point, mate, that I really think is a great starting place, by the way, for young coaches. If you know you've had somebody who's inspired you and kind of modeled the way, and you're thinking about getting into coaching, there's your place to start, right? You can
yeah.
imitate those behaviors and those fashions. You talked about playing at DC United. Did you get there on scholarship? Did you get there were you recruited to play for them? Because obviously that's a professional MLS academy. How does it
Yeah,
work
so
there?
I got there playing for my high school. Coach invited me to come out for the tryouts. So I went to tryouts, and it's a lot of kids there. So they invited a bunch of kids. And now they do like the talent ID camps. Back then it was just like tryouts. And I was able to make it through that.
Love it. So what is the deeper purpose then behind One Nation Soccer Academy?
Just to help develop the kids, the youth in the area,
Nice. And who is the club really for?
the youth, the younger kids.
Or just is it so it's solely youth development? It's not necessarily
Yes.
about, give us an
Or,
idea.
or and try helping the kids get into colleges.
College, okay.
Or yeah, or if they want to try to venture into. So we are also the P2P with DC United. So I could also recommend some of the kids to like the ID camps and everything. So lead them to that too. So it's wherever the kids want to follow their dream to go.
That's awesome, mate. Tell us a little bit more about that partnership. That's interesting.
Yeah, the beach is a partnership where some of the talented kids I could recommend them to us going to like the ID camps, so they could go in there, try like next week Thursday, I have a couple of my older boys going for the talent ID camp with DC.
Excellent. That's really good because most people would think, because I'm interviewing right now and speaking with on this podcast directors and technical directors of clubs across the area, and the whole purpose here is to be an educational resource, right? To get an idea
Yeah,
for coaches, their journeys, their philosophies, how they see soccer as a mirror for life, how they're developing people. And yeah, one big thing is you would automatically assume you have to be MLS Next or something to have those ties to teams, but that doesn't necessarily seem the case here. Right.
yeah. So no,
Yeah, so I want to talk then a little bit about what leagues you play in, right? We talk about MLS Next, you talk about ECNL. I'm constantly asking directors, of clubs, what's the difference here? Is there any difference? Do those labels matter in the grand scheme of things? What's your take on that?
I think once you're a player and you're playing the sport, it's just doing the right thing and playing the right way and working hard. Or your work ethics shows what kind of player you are. So it don't matter if you're playing ECNL, you're playing MLS Next. It's just the player that you are if you're able to hang with them.
So what is the right way?
Or playing the sport the right, just playing hard.
Play hard. Okay, so that's
Yeah.
that's the One Nation way. Play hard. I like it. Talk a little bit about your non-negotiables then in your environment. What are the coaches teaching and what's expected of the players?
Being at the younger age, I mostly focus on them being able to express themselves and being skillful, being able to dribble. Because once you get older, you could learn how to pass, but it's harder to learn how to dribble when you're older.
Hmm.
So from the younger age, I want to make sure the kids have the freedom of express yourself, or dribble, work on that. So when you get older, then it comes easier to you. The game comes easier to you.
Yeah,
So
because
we focus mostly on that.
that sounds good. I mean, it's all about developing that individual relationship with the ball, right? You know, lots
Yeah.
of touches. The more touches you take, how do you guys teach that then in your structure? Obviously, a lot of the clubs I speak to have already made curriculums. They've already, like, what does your curriculum look
Yeah,
like, and
so
how do you
we
teach?
work on we work on a lot of 1v1s. So making the kids going at each other, making you think quick on your feet, fast. So just push them to be free, have fun.
Be free, have fun, but 1v1s is under pressure. It's at the end of the day.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you
So
can
you gotta
dribble,
think quick.
but you got to think quick, right? And that's
Yeah,
a big part of development, right? Is being able
yeah.
to do it under that pressure. That's
So
awesome, mate. I think 1v1s is super important. How do you guys teach the tactical side of the game?
so I have a couple of drills that we use to help them with that. I don't know how to explain the drills. It's going drills, but it's just help them with the movements and the just knocking the ball. Do a lot of combination plays, pressure. Do some pressure with the ball, pressure without the ball.
Hmm.
So just switch it up sometimes.
Nice. Pattern play is important, right? And it's kind of like,
Yeah,
but it sounds to me already like you've got more of an emphasis on development, and that positional roles maybe don't matter so much. It's more about relationship with the ball.
yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's important, right? So, at what age do you guys start to really focus on positions and roles and responsibilities and things like that?
The U13s and up.
Yeah, makes sense. That's kind of developmentally appropriate, right? So, what do the pathways look like then, coach, for your guys? I know you said you play in, yeah, give us an idea of kind of the pathways, right? You've said kind of college, you have links to MLS. But if I was to join One Nation Soccer Academy tomorrow, when can I join? Is there a TOTS program? Is there like at what age? And from there, where can I progress to? Is there and what leagues am I in? Am I traveling far? Things like that.
We have the young kids, the little nations, I call them, but that's like the 4 years, 5 years. They just started off like with just the basics of just ball work, and then might have my travel teams that play EDP. My 2015s play state cups, and they do a lot of traveling. We go to Disney Cup in Orlando. We go to tournaments in New York. We go to tournaments. We go to nationals. We also play futsal.
Hmm.
So the futsal also helps them a lot more. We've won regionals and gone to nationals, and we're going to the mix seven tournaments in Spain in the summertime. It should be a good experience with them playing. So we travel. We do a lot. We do a lot of traveling.
Really?
Yeah,
That's interesting, right? Because as you texted me, we're a smaller club, right? We had kind of have that identity as a smaller club, but yet you
yeah,
guys are on the kind of the elite stage and the kind of the world stage, traveling to Spain and things like that. So that's fascinating. Like, how do families afford that? Do they find a way? Is it because, again, it's about accessibility and just getting people involved? But obviously, that's a big commitment, right? So it sounds like you're for everybody, but are people going to be able to front that cost? Like, give us a little insight there, because it
yeah.
sounds, you're accessible, but yet you're competing at a high level, like with the type of clubs that would be like you say, more expensive.
Yeah, so with that, we do fundraisers. We do talk to people to ask for help, whatever they can give, help out. We sell like sweaters to help fund for that, and have the kids talk to family members, try to raise the money, and there we go. Yeah,
The opportunities. So, what do you think happens to a talented player when they lack access?
I think they stop liking the sport, it goes away, and they start doing other things that then the interest in the sport is not really there no more.
The love for the game dies.
Yeah,
Yeah, man, and that's something that as America starts to grow here, and I think youth soccer gets bigger and better, and I think the pay to play system, it is what it is. I think taking that away is taking kind of the capitalist aspect away from America, where it's if you add value to somebody, you should be able to kind of charge for that, right? Now,
yeah,
there is the flip side to that though, where there is there's so many players who are disenfranchised and not it's inaccessible, right? Different to a country where I come from in England, where youth players soccer is as such is fundamentally ingrained into kind of a systematic process. If you're good, you play Sunday league, it's free, everybody gets recruited, right? And so the American system definitely has a lot to look at and to reflect upon, because I think how did your teams do? How did you guys compete against you know, in those environments, like you said, Disney, I think you said, in those environments, how are you guys competing? Because I think it would be a good case study to see how are these clubs that are providing more access to players actually competing, the ones that don't necessarily have the funds to pay to play way.
So us being out there, when teams see us playing, they're like, "Oh, who's this team? Where's this team from?" Because the kids are very talented. We over there at Disney, we won all our games. We beat a team from Mexico, and they were just like, "Oh, like the team is very good. Like where they're from," and it shows because the kids put the work in and they get there.
That's awesome, man. You know, it's yeah, it's great. It's nice how, you know, how powerful belief can be. Believing in providing access to opportunities, believing in young people, and that just that power of belief to overcome your circumstances. Right? That's something I resonate with myself. I had a pretty challenging upbringing, and football was kind of my teacher. It helped me become the person I am. It helped me become. It helped me mature. It helped me throughout life. Right? It's always been kind of a guide. So it's powerful when somebody finally gets an opportunity. Right? The game is very
Mm.
much about relationships. It's who you meet. It's about providing opportunities. So how powerful is belief when someone finally gets that opportunity?
It's very powerful because oh, I'm here, so I'm gonna work extra hard. So it's the kids push themselves because they know there wouldn't be an opportunity if there wasn't if that one little chance shows them that, oh, I gotta work hard. It gives them belief.
Yeah. No, it's they don't take it for granted, right?
Yeah,
When it's not handed to you, you're kind of more likely to work hard for it. So
more hungry for it.
more hungry for it, right? So it comes down to hunger and desire. And yeah, I mean, that's a big requirement when it comes to elite performers, right? A lot of people get there through insecurities and not having the means necessary. So, what are your guys' way of teaching confidence without entitlement? Because that is a big thing today, too. I would argue that even if you were somebody who came from a poor household with, you know, like a chaotic household with relationships and football was your way out, you're still in a world where it's very much entitled. The world today is very much convenience, you know, screen time, and, you know, I can just check out and watch the TV, and like what a convenience that is, right? The modern world we live
Yeah.
in. How do you guys teach confidence and without teaching entitlement?
So I believe that confidence comes with experience. The more you put in a situation, the better you have. What you have confidence of what to do in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
So if like um given given the scenario of, oh, let's say it's a championship game and it's the last penalty kick and a kid has been there multiple times, so he has the confidence to be like, oh, I'll step up and take it. I have the confidence that I can make it.
Mm-hmm.
Or, you get a play out the box. I'm confident enough that I could do it. I could take the player on and find some. So a lot of kids will try to get them in situations where they're doing it constantly. When it happens, I'm okay with it. I'm
Mm-hmm.
used to it.
Yeah, I like that. And I've actually got a specific example for you because there is one player, a young player in your club called Gambin, who I work with, who's a really talented player. He's got a lot of potential. And I remember one session he came to me and he just kind of didn't have that focus. He was a little bit down, it seemed. And I picked his brains. Hey, what's going on here, buddy? You know, he missed the penalty. I think it was at Florida or a Disney tournament or something.
Yeah,
And we were reflecting on it. And I said, you know, all right, so talk me through it. Like, let's replay it. Let's replay the scenario. What happened? And he said, you know, what he really remembers was kind of the noise from the sidelines. And I said, so that's the external, right? That's something that you can't really control, right? In that moment, it's you, the ball, and the goal, and you have one mission and one objective is to put it in the back. I said, now isn't that an awesome experience? Right? Because the next time that happens, what can we learn from that? Right? What can we learn from it? I said, did it seem like noise? Did it seem loud? Right? It's our job as individuals to control what's going on inside, right? Not the focus on the outside. And that's a big part of what I teach with the one-on-ones. But I remember vividly him, and I love how we kind of recreated that scenario. And he was, yeah, for a young player, like to be put in that situation, not many young players are getting to a final or a semi-final, right?
yeah,
And you talk about it, it's pressure, right? So giving players those opportunities to be put in an environment where, It's high pressure right now. I do want to talk about this. How much do parents play into that pressure? Because young players today are seriously talented, right? And we live, like I said, in an age of social media. A lot of kids have personal profiles and things like that, you know, showcasing their skills and their abilities. How much do you think, coach, that is going to affect young players? Do you think it's going to affect them? Do you think it's a positive? Do you think it's a negative? Can you touch on kind of that social
I
aspect?
think parents do put a extra pressure on the kids because like I wanna show my parent that I can do it. So my parents very proud of me. So the kids there to make their parents proud. So
Mm.
the parents do put a bigger weight on your shoulders. Like
Hmm.
when my mom is watching me, I gotta prove that I can do this. Make her or him proud.
Nice. Now, do you think that's a positive thing or a negative thing?
It could be both. It could be positive and it also could be negative.
So, what would a positive example be?
Well, it comes to the backward to the confidence of I know my mom know I'm just gonna make it because I know that I have the relationship with my parent that they know I'm gonna step up and do it. And there's some days if I miss this, my mom is gonna scream at me, and I'm like, then that is like that makes the kid like, and I'm a little nervous of this because now it's more pressure because it's like if I don't make this, I know I'm getting that
No
backlash
dinner for you.
after the game. Yeah, I'm getting that after the game compared to that puts a lot more pressure on it. So I feel like it's both. It could be.
Definitely, man. Definitely. And it's something I'm constantly reflecting on as well. It's like, how do we help parents best support their child? Is there anything that you guys do within the club to educate parents, or do you have team meetings, or like how do you go about communication and kind of
So we have
yeah,
like Zoom meetings like every month. We have like a Zoom meeting just to talk to parents, see what they had, see what their mind is, and also with the kids. As you said, we're still a club. We're not perfect, but trying to make it a great learning environment for the kids.
trying to make it work? So talk us through like some of the things you talk to parents about in those conversations. Like if I was a parent thinking about joining One Nation, what are some expectations I can have? Like you said, you're making it work, a meeting, but what are you guys discussing?
So talk to parents about how getting ideas from them first, like how we could make stuff better and how they feel is everything is going. Because like I said, we're not perfect, so we make mistakes too. I myself am not perfect, so we talk to them on the kids getting not just my child's gonna be the best player when he comes to 2 days of practice for an hour. No, also try to get like you see some of the kids come and get like private sessions, get a kid outside to go even 30 minutes.
Hmm.
Just go work the kids out, practice what they've been working at practice for 30 minutes. That makes a big difference. They get better just by going out just 30 minutes. I tell them, go and take the kid out to run. It helps, get the kid a little better. Don't just expect your kid to come to practice one day for an hour and oh, you're gonna be Messi tomorrow, or he's gonna be the best player in the world tomorrow. So you
Yeah.
gotta put the work in.
That's not how it works, yeah. And I think it's important to understand that the onus kind of has to be on the kid, right? Like if you provide a
Yeah,
good enough environment, kids will want to come back. That's the way I see it,
yeah.
right? So what matters more then, talent or mindset?
Think mindset,
Why?
because you're the mindset that you want this, the talent will come.
Mm,
You could work hard and become talented. But if you're the talent, you don't have the mindset, then you're not gonna get.
I like it. So let's touch on mindset. What mindset qualities do young players need most today?
Being hardworking, working when no one is watching. I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna practice this. I'm gonna push myself. I'm not gonna just do it where I'm not. I'm gonna have the mindset that I want it more. I want to get somewhere. I want to be the starting player on the team. I want to be the person that is taking free kicks. I'm gonna practice. I'm gonna have the mindset. I'm gonna work on my free kicks. I want to be there. I want to be there in that position instead of not just having that mindset.
Yeah, I like what you said there, coach, in terms of doing it when nobody's watching, right? I mean, every great athlete and elite athlete that's got to the top of the game has said it's about putting the work in, and that can't be understated, right? You need to be putting the work out, putting the work in, playing. Coming from challenging backgrounds, like how do kids kind of fit that playtime in, and like how would you advise parents to kind of yeah to how would you best advise parents to help their child be in that environment? Because you could argue all you need is a ball and a wall, right? But how do you think parents can best put those parameters in place for their kids to
Like I said, like getting like there's a lot of trainers around the area, like yourself. So like getting with like a coach getting some private sessions in, that helps the kid a lot. You know,
Mhm.
it puts the kid into, now I'm getting focused on with just me instead of a whole team together where you can't really like focus on one single individual, but now you're doing this in a group, doing like camps, you know, like that. It helps the kids a lot too.
Yeah, just more and more opportunities to play, right? Just develop that relationship with the ball, but intentional, structured environments are always helpful. You know, I'm a big advocate for one-on-one. It's very much what I do, and yeah, it is important to have structure. It's definitely, you know, creativity, structure, discipline, like it all goes hand in hand. It's all part of kind of a player's journey. So one question I like to ask coaches, like what do you think resilience looks like in young athletes?
Being fearless, I feel,
Hmm.
having heart
Hmm.
to just do it, just play, enjoy the sport.
Despite the obstacles,
Yeah,
right? That's the question. So what's the difference between confidence and resilience then?
it's a tough one. Having confidence is just, I think they go hand in hand.
Hmm.
As in, you have confidence that you're gonna play, be in a tough situation, and you're gonna still play, and resilience, you're gonna work through it.
Work to overcome it, right? Work through it and work
Yeah,
to overcome it, right?
yeah,
Yeah, I had a coach on it. Yeah, it's an interesting kind of question, right? And I think confidence can kind of come and go in a lot of ways, but I feel like resilience is it's kind of no matter the situation that arises, like you said, kind of go through it. You know,
yeah.
yeah, no, I like it. So, what do you think pressure reveals about young players?
I think it reveals who could actually play and who has been putting the work in.
Hmm.
Because when pressure comes, you have that confidence of, oh, I know what to do already.
Nice. Yeah, I like that because I think confidence is also true confidence, right? It's not because I question this as a coach. You know, I see a lot of coaches have different approaches to developing confidence, and I think the more you work hard and you do hard things and challenging things, I think that's what develops confidence. It's like I can do this. I've been here before, right? People talk about being put in an environment that's challenging and it's sink or swim. You rise to the
Mm.
occasion. I think it's very much you rise to the level of your training, right? It's
Yeah,
like you said, you can tell the ones that have been out there banging it against the wall, working on their
yeah,
first touch, playing in the streets, right? A big teacher. It's
yeah.
kind of so then when those moments come, like you said, that's where the confidence comes into play. So I appreciate that perspective, Coach. What do you think parents misunderstand about development?
One thing they feel, like I said, a lot of parents feel like the 2 days of practice with the team is going to just make the kid be a high level player. Like
Hmm.
my kid's gonna be the best because he goes to practice 2 days instead of, oh, I need to get the extra training to get him practicing extra other days of the week. So I think that's the one thing that parents need to get.
Yeah, manage expectations, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's a tough one. We live in a world where, you know, expectations are so high. And I think expectations aren't necessarily real, right? It's like that's a big thing like I touched upon earlier. You see these young kids now with everyone's got profiles and stuff and comparing and contrasting and it's, you know, things look good guys on social media, but
not in real life. Yeah,
true development like Instagram and reality are
it's
way
different.
totally different things. It's like, you
Yeah,
know, so I think we all live in some sort of an illusion right now, right? And this is one big thing I'm big on. Coach is just breaking that illusion. Like if you don't want to be challenged and like gritty, I'm not your coach. Find somebody else. Like that's the way I see it because expect it, and it's the same thing with parents. I don't care if you're a paying customer. If you don't want to grow and develop, if you don't want to be challenged mentally, physically, and become a resilient person, then I'm not your coach.
mhm.
And you have to kind of be okay with that, right? You
Yeah.
have to have your values, and you have to say, you know, yeah, kind of go your own way. So yeah, what do you think? What is one thing parents should stop doing immediately?
Thinking that because I'm paying my son has to be on the field playing
Mm,
instead of making the kid earn
mm.
the playing time.
That's an interesting one because you guys are of, I guess, being a more accessible club is obviously, let's say, a discounted rate. But
Yeah,
that I think touches kind of on the mindset of those who don't necessarily have so much, right? It's
yeah,
if they're given the little that they have, and so therefore there's an expectation there too. It's not just
Yeah.
the big clubs where there's a huge price tag and it's a huge commitment. It's more also, hey, I'm working overtime here to pay you for my kid, and so there's an expectation for you as a director. How do you handle that?
Just let them know that talk to them. You know, if you want the kid to develop, you guys gotta trust the process
Mm-hmm.
and work with it. Let it teaches the kid not just about soccer but also in life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not because you're here you deserve to just get the manager position. No, you gotta earn that position.
Yeah. Yeah. I think anything in life that anything that comes easy goes away easy, right?
Yeah,
So it's kind of, yeah, if it's for parents, you also need to be resilient. You also need to, work to make this opportunity possible, but also understand that it is a process, right? It's not just going to be handed to you on a plate. So yeah, a lot of good stuff here, man. What advice do you give players who want to go professional? Every kid wants to go professional today. You've got a young lad yourself. I know you're probably putting
yeah,
pressure on him to be the next project. No, but what, what
yeah.
what advice do you give players who want to play professional?
I think just keep working because at the end of the day, it's not it's who wants it more
Hmm.
and who's putting the work in.
Definitely. What does chasing a dream in soccer actually mean?
It's tough because there's a lot of kids that's chasing that same dream. Because who wants it more?
Hmm.
Who wanna be in that? Who wanna be in that position? Who wanna get there? So it's just who wants it more.
Who wants it more? It's a competitive world. That's the reality,
Yeah,
right? You want to compare and contrast yourself with the next person. There's always going to be somebody who's doing more than you, right? And that's a fact. It takes a lot of luck. There's so many factors that come into going to the next level. No injuries, supportive parents,
yeah, yeah. And
accountability.
the injury part is one of the biggest
Where
part
did
of
you
it.
develop your coaching philosophy and work ethic from then, coach?
Just from me playing and just picking minds of different coaches that I've that coached me growing up.
Hmm.
So it's like pick brains from different people. So it's just like a combination of my upcoming from playing.
Nice, man. So how do you guys at One Nation go about coaching staff, right? Being the leader of any organization, it's hard to get good people and good staff who buy into the principles, development. And, I saw a parent actually yesterday on the field, I believe, coaching one of the sessions. Yeah, I know his kid is really good, right? So I thought, oh,
Yeah.
is it, how do you, is he a typical coach in the organization? Do you guys educate those coaches? Like, how do you guys go about, the curriculum?
So because we're a low budget team, we're not really that high. So I have to like get some of the coaches that want to help, also volunteers.
Hmm.
But also with that, I also give them a curriculum. I give them a photo with of what I want them working on with the kids. Like
Hmm.
the younger age group, I have a set curriculum of what I want them working on, like teaching the kids. So it's not to just have the kids running around doing whatever they want or doing what they feel they want to do, but there's a curriculum of what they're doing, of what they're working on with the kids.
Love that, man. Yeah, and as we start to wrap this up here, I think it's been a really good perspective. But if you were a parent right now thinking about signing up for One Nation Soccer Academy, like what would that conversation look like?
Development of your kid, you want your kid be in a family oriented environment and hardworking. Yeah, just sign up for our team.
Nice. Is it culturally diverse, accessible for all,
Yes, very cultural diverse. We have every race, basically.
and different languages?
Yes, very different. We have French, Spanish. What else? We have a couple of Indians. So we
What?
have a very good race.
And it's One Nation, right? So where did you get that name from? Like, what's the inspiration there?
I just bringing kids together. It's like just the name is one nation. It's just a nation altogether. Different races bring coming together. It's not just relying on. We're not just like one race. It's just everybody together. Bring everybody together as
The
one.
human race connected through soccer, right? Which is
Yeah.
yeah, man.
So the name actually comes from one nation under God, indivisible. Yeah. So it's literally from there.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that, mate. That's awesome. No, it's the football is all about, it's about having goals. It's about expectations. It's about striving to become the best version of yourself, the best player you can be, right? And person. But it's also about the
Yeah,
people you meet along the way and the connections, and it's good to have kind of community as well. A lot of players join teams to be a part of something, right?
yeah.
So yeah. Final question, coach, for you. What do you hope every player who passes through One Nation Soccer Academy learns about themselves?
Learn that they're hardworking and they could get whatever they need to get by just working hard.
Old school, right? But it doesn't waver. I think in any generation, no matter what culture or society looks like, if you work hard,
Working hard, you get
you can get ahead. Yeah,
results.
you get the results. I like it, mate. So yeah. I had a couple more questions here. I might just do kind of a couple more questions with you, coach, that I'll edit in and use for social media, if that's fine, actually.
That's fine.
So, coach, do talented players fail more because of lack of ability or lack of opportunity?
I think lack of opportunity because talented players always going to be a player, but if they're not put in the right environment, they won't get seen by the right people.
And that's a big part of it, right? Is
Yeah,
exposure,
yeah,
right? There's so many players that I think could slip through the cracks because doors haven't opened simply because of exposure. I'm a college coach, and I often find kids come to my ID camp. I made my ID camp free this year, which I think allows it. It was only $20 in the past, but which is affordable. Oftentimes, the players who stood out were kids who I don't play club. I just play, with an open age team in DC, and I'm like, there's a lot of talent here, and
yeah.
so I agree. I think that's huge. All right, coach. So how many how many great players never make it simply because they were never seen?
I think a lot. It's just a lot because it's if you think about it, there's so much players all over.
All over
Just
the
because
world.
the name that they don't have that exposure, they don't get there.
Yeah, and you think of places like I've got a friend of mine who just started a True Talents of Africa soccer academy, right, in Kenya, and I'm looking at it like, wow, he's providing opportunities out there, but I'm thinking right on our doorstep.
There's so much players here
Yeah,
too.
there's we look way afar, but really it's is there access here as well? So, no, that's good. What does a young player need more than talent?
Grit, hard work, that instinct to push, to be confident,
Where do you think
and
that comes
just
from? Can you teach that, or do you think it's in somebody? Do you think it's environment?
I think it is in you, but it's also environment, and you could learn it from being in those kind of situations.
Hmm.
If I've been in a situation, when it comes back, it's easy to me. It comes natural to me.
Hmm.
I'm able to. So you could also teach that too. So sometimes some kids just have it.
Hmm.
You meet a kid that just already they just naturally have it.
Yeah,
Some kids could work and get it.
that hunger in the belly. As a coach, it's hard to teach, right? And it's
Yeah,
like you say, experience. I think growing up in a small town where I grew up, just outside of Liverpool, it's different back home, but you could argue
that's
that
my team.
council estate in England is very similar to kind of social housing here. I guess government pays for your school meals, bus fare, and food stamps and things like that.
Mm.
But I think that adversity is a big part of what give me that drive. I was recruited to play for Man United, and it was something I didn't take for granted. Every moment I was there, it was like, who can I learn from here? And so I think it's massive to understand how much environment creates that drive. And I think as coaches, we kind of have a duty to create challenge, to create environments where it's not about suffering, right? But it's about
Yeah.
adversity. Like how can we create that adversity? Is there any examples you have of how you guys create challenge or adversity to help players?
Like just go back to that example of when you said Gambin was when he missed the penalty. He had another situation where he had to take the penalty,
Really?
and he actually made it that time.
Yeah.
So I think from him being in that situation then and being in it again, now he was like, oh, I'm able to cancel out the noise, focus on just that, and I'm buried in it.
Love that. I like your philosophy. It's very much about the experience. He's been there before, he's worn the shoes, but I think there's a part of developing as well. It requires intelligence. Like
Yeah,
he has to understand what were the factors here that made me not successful the first time around, right? Because we don't want to repeat that. So fair play to him getting the goal there in the end. What does soccer teach a child about life, coach?
Thing is, like I said, it goes hand in hand because you will be teaching the kid the right things in soccer. It shows them in life. I'm gonna get the same situations as I was getting in soccer, but in real life. Because I learned this and I'm able to get over the obstacle in soccer. It's gonna be the same thing. I'm gonna have the I don't know the word to use for it, but I'm gonna have the confidence that I've been in that situation through soccer, so it's gonna be the same exact thing. It's a life lesson.
Yeah, man. I think we think the same way here. You know, the podcast is Soccer is a Mirror for Life. It very much is about that, right? I think I'm a big believer in the way you are on the field is the way you are off it, right? If things aren't going your way and you're throwing your hands up and you're making excuses, that's what when
It's gonna be the same.
things don't come your way, right? So it reveals who we are, soccer, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so when a kid finally gets an opportunity, what changes inside of them? We touched on it a little bit earlier.
To push, but to get through it, shows them that I could work and push myself more. And that opened that with that opportunity, I'll have I just prove myself.
Mm.
So it's gonna push them more to work harder.
I like that term, actually, prove yourself, because do you think that comes from a place of insecurity? Like, I have to prove myself because I've been given this opportunity and I'm proving my worth. And do you think that's a big part of it?
Yeah, and also that I want to be more I want to be in this situation more because this is my chance. This is my one chance to be like to show them that I can do this.
Yeah, I like that, man. That's awesome. Yeah, so yeah, this club exists for a reason, man. Like it's a great initiative, coach, and you've got some real stud players. You know, I work with some of them personally one on one, and there's an attitude, there's a hunger, there's a desire. Yeah, mate. Opportunity, you guys, changes identity. When somebody finally believes in a young player, something powerful can happen. Confidence grows, work ethic grows, dreams become real, and sometimes all it takes is one coach willing to open a door. That's the real power of the game. All right. So thank you, Coach Joel, for meeting with us and coming on the PhiloSoccer podcast. It's been great tapping into what you guys are doing. And yeah, man, keep up the good work. I'm glad the game brought us together in this capacity.
Thank you, Daniel.
Yeah, man, I'll see you around, but